Hello there. Today I'm very excited to be joined by Jonathan Lister Parsons, who is the co-founder and CTO of PensionBee, who finished number one in the TechRound FinTech 50. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us.
Hi, Dan. Lovely to
So
be here.
congratulations on finishing number one.
I know.
Um,
Thank you so much. Yeah, we were really excited to see that.
so for those unfamiliar with PensionBee, please tell us all about it. What's it about, and how did the idea come about?
Of course. Yeah, no problem. Well, let me start with the problem because I think it's something that a lot of people have. We're PensionBee. We're a UK online pension company. Um, the problem that we're really solving for people is that problem that you get when you've moved jobs a few times and you've had a pension with each of your different jobs, and you wake up one morning and you think, what have I got? What have I got in terms of my pension savings, my long-term savings? And you start sort of looking through drawers to find paperwork, and you've got something from one job here and something from one job there, and you're missing the paperwork from another job because you've moved a few times and the paperwork stopped following you, and you've really no idea. So you don't have any sense of control over those long-term savings. And so PensionBee, it was founded to sort of bring back that sense of control for people. So what we do when you sign up on our site, you tell us where your old pensions are, and we literally go and get them for you and move them into one place, and bring it essentially into the 21st century so that you're able to manage your money in a single pot online on an app whenever you want. And that brings that sense of agency and control back to people, and allows them to start managing their long-term savings in a way that works for them.
Brilliant. So it's an app, and it's app only, and it's free to download.
No, so it was website only for a while, and then we brought our app out a few years ago, and now we're web and mobile, and wherever the people are.
Okay, that's great. And how have you found business has been during COVID in the last year?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I think being at home more often means that people will have more of that opportunity to think about their financial landscape and sort of try and get everything written down into a spreadsheet or into a piece of paper, however they manage their financial world. And it sort of gives you more opportunities to get into the frame of mind to try and sort of sort things out and get them under control. So I think that's good for PensionBee from an overall perspective. But I think still as a young company, as a growth company in the UK, we do depend heavily on being able to get the word out about PensionBee. And so people not being out in the streets, looking at the kind of billboards that we put up, that sort of advertising, that's meant that we've had to adapt the way that we're reaching people to use channels that work when everybody's at home and primarily looking at digital channels rather than the big plans that we had for last year in terms of a much more traditional outdoor presence.
And
But for the company as well, this lovely Zoom background that I have of our office in Moorgate, it looks pretty empty, and I think that's pretty representative of how the office looks these days, because everybody's still working at home. And so shifting, it was something like 100 and something people March last year, shifting them all at home to a home working environment over a 48-hour period was a challenge. But as a digital business, something that we took in our stride and did that move with no interruption to any of our customer service channels, and that was something we were really proud of. And it's nice to be able to bring those expectations to the pension industry and as a pension company to be able to deliver that level of service, because it's not something that people traditionally associate with pensions. So it's helping to sort of change people's expectations of what normal looks like and make pensions feel a lot more like your ISAs or your mortgage or something that people are used to dealing with over an app.
that's very interesting, because I think the majority of young people don't have pensions, if I'm not mistaken. But the standards and the costs of living are really increasing, so it's actually probably more important than ever.
Yeah. So there's an interesting history to pensions. I mean, they go back a number of centuries, but certainly since 2015, when auto enrollment started to come in, it's become much more normal for people to get a workplace pension. And it is now a legal obligation of employers to enroll their staff into pensions. So we have customers who as young as 18, and we have them all the way up to 90. So it's really covering the spectrum of the population. And because people are being given pensions when they are younger, which is a time when your salary is going to be lower and potentially you'll stay at a job for not as much time, as they're moving between different employers, they're getting these little pension pots of maybe £100 here, £1,000 there, and that problem of fragmentation of people having lots of different pensions from different workplaces, that problem has become worse. And so a service like PensionBee is actually really helpful for just making it easy for people to pick those up and move them along into a single pot when they switch jobs. So it works for young people in the same way as it works for older people.
That's very interesting. And finally, is there anything interesting on the horizon? Anything you can share with us?
Well, you may have seen in the news recently, we were talking about the prospects of an IPO at some point in the next 12 months, and that's something that's obviously really exciting for us. PensionBee is a company that's really focused on its customers, really values its customer relationships, and I think being able to move the company to be a public company, to be owned by the public and by our customers, that's something that's really exciting. I think very much in line with the values of the company, as well as giving us that great sort of growth platform to keep moving into the pension industry in the UK.
Very easy. That's great. Please keep us posted.
Yeah, will do.
But and there we go. So thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate your time. Congratulations again with everything you've done with PensionBee. There's some information in the bio to the link to the website if you want to find out more. Thank you again, and have a great week.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Dan.